The fired DC Comics writer, who was fired after celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, has now revealed his depraved ending to his canceled Red Hood series. Wrote this up over at fandompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. The author of DC Comics has now canceled Red Hood series. A man who pretends to be a woman and uses the name Gretchen Felker-Martin revealed a depraved ending for the series that involves Red Hood killing the president of the United States, assassinating the president of the United States. In a series of posts to Blue Sky, Felker-Martin boasted about getting fired by DC Comics. First, he wrote this: "You know, whatever else there is to say about DC Comics firing me, I have to say it felt deeply satisfying to tell a suit, I get it, it's important to keep the faceless mob of Nazis happy. You don't often get to tell the rich to their faces or over the phone that they're moral cowards hiding behind the vague, amoral cloak of capitalism. It rules." And then kind of creating a straw man and responding to it, Felker-Martin says, "I think you know it's a little more complicated than that." And he says, "No, it isn't." Then Felker-Martin revealed what his plans for the Red Hood series were. He said this: "Anyway, my outline for the series, which after the first year is not under NDA, ended with Red Hood assassinating the president on live TV." He continued saying, "The entire issue is Jason assembling a rifle while in the background an uncut far-right rally speech went on and on and on. No other dialogue. Then 3 pages of silence as he tries to escape. Jason is cornered and puts a gun to his head. Cut to black and a gunshot. Then we'd cut to Batman and he'd look right at the reader and say, 'I think that was cool and I endorse it happening to real Nazis in reality.' That's right. I know about reality. I am a comic man stuck in a comic." So absolutely depraved story here. I think this begs the question as to why DC Comics hired this person in the first place. And I think the answer to that is pretty obvious. DC Comics is totally fine with this type of propaganda. They have no qualms with it. It wasn't until the assassination of Charlie Kirk and this person's absolutely disgusting posts that he was fired and the Red Hood series scrapped. And I think this is just who DC Comics is. This is what they are now. They are an arm of left-wing propaganda, radical left-wing propaganda that wants to destroy the United States of America. And they put those fantasies into their comic books. They're hiring them. It's being institutionalized. It's being spread. And it's just wicked. It's absolutely wicked and evil. And DC Comics is clearly compromised at this point. 100%. If you didn't think they were already, which I've obviously been beating the drum on this for a long time, I think this is very obvious here. Huge evidence showing that DC Comics is a compromised institution and nothing really good is coming out of them. And so just to kind of reiterate or kind of remind you of why this individual was fired, this is what he posted immediately following Charlie Kirk's assassination, saying, "Thoughts and prayers, you Nazi." Obviously using an expletive there, and then saying, "Hope the bullet's okay," after touching Charlie Kirk. Just absolutely abominable, disgusting stuff. No one should be with this kind of mental state, this kind of mental attitude should be working at DC Comics. You're literally not fit for polite society, which one would think working at DC Comics would require, but clearly not. Given the fact that this person was indeed hired, this was the outline that he submitted to DC Comics. They clearly had no problems with it, approved it, and it had already been in print because they, after this, they then announced that they were canceling issues for Red Hood number 2 and Red Hood number 3. And any orders for future issues of the series, DC Comics will credit retailers for all invoice copies of Red Hood number 1, inclusive of copies that may have already been sold. So they had already taken this series to print, had sold the first issue, and clearly already had at least issues 2 and 3 likely already printed up and in their warehouse waiting to ship out to retailers. So this was what was in this book, according to Felker-Martin. It's just absolutely disgusting and sick. And what's even more kind of sad about this is what DC said as to why they canceled the book and fired Felker-Martin, saying, at DC Comics, we place the highest value on our creators and community and affirm the right to peaceful individual expression of personal viewpoints. Posts or public comments that can be viewed as promoting hostility or violence are inconsistent with DC's standards of conduct. Yet, it's totally fine if you put it in the actual comic book, apparently. So this is who DC Comics is. A bunch of liars. Should never even hired this individual. I've documented how this person shouldn't have been hired. This type of behavior had been happening in the past, going after J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. So this isn't at all surprising whatsoever, but it's just another piece of evidence as to how compromised DC Comics is and how it is clearly pushing left-wing, radical left-wing, violent rhetoric and propaganda. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?